Welcome back to the Budget Gamer channel, where we've got your indie games covered, and today we're going to be taking a look at a hilarious indie called Pool Panic. And being a completely novel indie game with over 100 levels and some really cool innovations, you may be surprised at how it actually all plays out. Starting off in Pool Panic, there's really not that much of a story, if any story at all. You pretty much just play as a cue ball whose only objective seems to be to sink the 8-ball and move on. However, after a very brief tutorial session just teaching you pretty much one or two ways to shoot the cue ball, we're introduced into a very whimsical world of pool. And despite all that seems to be going on this legitimately massive open world overworld map, right off the bat we find a tower with a little flag with a 105 on it. And after sinking only a few 8 balls and coming back, it's really easy for the player to figure out that this is the overall game's objective: to sink 105 8 balls and slowly rebuild this tower. However, you'll quickly realize that this massive overworld map definitely supports the diversity not only in geography but in pool balls and the way the pool games are played. In each location on the map, each game will actually be entirely unique. And Adult Swim was definitely not lying when they said this game was the least realistic pool simulator ever made. Not only will every single location and arrangement of pool balls be different in every single game, but the different locations can fundamentally change the way the game is laid out, the number of pockets, or the number and types of obstacles in your way. But converting a pool table into an obstacle-rich mini golf course isn't the only level of difficulty that Adult Swim has added. In a typical pool game, there's 15 balls with 7 colors divided into solids or stripes, plus of course the ever-present 8-ball. However, Adult Swim has taken all of that and thrown it completely out the window. Every single ball in Pool Panic has its own unique personality and its own actions, patterns, and characteristics for when you're trying to sink it. Whether these pool balls are divas that'll jump over your shots or wild animals that will lunge at you and try and sink you instead, Pool Panic has integrated dozens of different balls that will really try and confront you at every single turn. And it'll really take a solid effort for the player to figure out exactly how to handle each one of these unique balls' personalities in order to be able to sink them into any given pocket the level may have. However, sinking all the balls on the table to be able to finally put down that 8-ball isn't the only thing each level may have. Several of the levels on this gigantic overworld map may actually have hidden characters in them. And chances are, if you've managed to come across a blocked off area in this sprawling overworld map, there's a character that can probably help you push your way through. However, as you do make your way through Pool Panic, the full pool games aren't the only challenge that Pool Panic offers. Occasionally you may find a unique challenge area that allows you only one shot to sink all the balls on the table. And these areas will require you to not only have a really good control of your own finesse with the pool cue, but have a clear grasp of the personalities of each of the balls on the table so that you'll be able to use the scenario to the best of your own ability. And in all honesty, that's about the entirety of the gameplay as you make your way through parking lots, campgrounds, and castles trying to collect all 105 8 balls. However, if you didn't think this was challenging enough, every single level in the game, except for the unique challenges, offers you the potential of gaining 4 trophies in each game. 1 trophy for completing the game in a specific amount of time, 1 trophy for completing it under a certain amount of strokes, 1 for sinking every single ball on the table, and another for completing the game without scratching. But in all honesty, unless you're a real glutton for punishment, getting all 4 trophies on all 105 levels is going to be insanely difficult. And this actually does bring us to the final portion of the review, which is the critique. Pool Panic is novel and innovative, and honestly, it's getting harder and harder to find games that are truly unique. But even with its massive world and its 105 truly unique and different levels, the kitschy graphics and drawing style and the unique funky music do actually have kind of a hard time keeping the player engaged with a gameplay style that never really changes. Through all 105 levels, the only gameplay dynamic that you really have access to is aiming and either hitting the ball hard or light. And in all honesty, once you've encountered each of the different types of balls and personalities, encountering them again in new levels may be a little more unique and may increase the challenge, but it doesn't really create any new investment for the player or create any new incentive to rinse, lather, and repeat essentially the same game 105 times. And that's honestly one of the things I found the most confusing about Pool Panic, is how original and how vast and how unique and interesting it was, but how quickly it really lost its shine. After completing about 20 or 30 levels and getting a lot better at the game, I actually found myself kind of lost on the overworld map and couldn't actually find my way back to the tower. And no matter how long you play, how many levels you complete, or how many 8 balls you manage to collect, pretty much all you'll be able to do is aim and shoot. And with as much time and energy as the developers obviously put into level and character design as well as their music soundtrack, the lack of diversity in the actual gameplay mechanic will probably keep most people who download and play this game from experiencing as much as they could. But even given that take on the game, Pool Panic is incredibly entertaining. It's fun and enjoyable, it's just probably not a game that you're going to sit down with for too long in one sitting. And given the fact that there is a 2-player co-op mode, I'm kind of starting to lean toward maybe that was the way that the game was designed. If you do take this as a local co-op party game instead of a 105 level marathon campaign, it is a completely different experience. So if you're looking for a casual yet incredibly lengthy pool-themed puzzle game, or an open-world party game to play with friends, Pool Panic might be a perfect fit. But that being said, that does about wrap up the review of Pool Panic on the Nintendo Switch. So if you enjoyed the review or found it helpful, feel free to throw me a like or comment to show your support. And don't forget to click that little bell icon when you subscribe to stay updated with the latest content. There are new and unique indie games coming out literally every single day, so there's always going to be something new to find right here. But if you want a hint at what reviews are coming up next, you can follow us on Twitter, and if you want to help me make these reviews, check out our Patreon page. But anyway, this has been Budget Gamer, so as always, thanks for watching.